I am Patrick, and this is Yankee Town. On this channel, I will be talking about my favorite team, the New York Yankees. Today, as you can see from the title, this is a 2025 Yankees season recap. After they lost star Juan Soto to the Mets in free agency after the 2024 season, the Yankees knew they had to bolster their roster and have a good offseason after that. So they went out and signed lefty starting pitcher Max Fried to an 8-year, $218 million contract, the most by any left-handed starting pitcher in MLB history. Then they went out and signed Paul Goldschmidt to a 1-year, $12.5 million deal to get a first baseman after they didn't re-sign Anthony Rizzo. Then they traded Cody Poteet to the Chicago Cubs for star Cody Bellinger. And then they also traded Nestor Cortez Jr. to the Milwaukee Brewers for Devin Williams. So they made a lot of good moves this season to help make this team really good. But starting in spring training, a bad thing happened where their ace, Garrett Cole, hurt his arm. It might have been his elbow, I think, and he needed Tommy John surgery. So the Yankees fans and the Yankees didn't know what they would do, but the signing of Max Fried definitely helped as they went into the season strong. Max Fried was great, and the Yankees were doing pretty good to start the season, and they won on opening day with a leadoff home run by Austin Wells. And then the second game of the season versus the Brewers, they hit 9 home runs in one game. And that beat the franchise history record of most home runs by a Yankees team in a single game. It was great. I was actually at that game. They won 20-9, and it was great. And that was actually Max Fried's first start. He pitched good, not great, but the team didn't help him as they made a lot of errors that game. But it's all right, because after that, the Yankees were dealing. They were doing really good. They lost the series to the Diamondbacks, but won the series versus the Pirates. They lost a couple series here, but they were doing pretty good in the beginning of the year. Max Fried was doing great. Carlos Rodon was starting to do really good, like he was supposed to be when they got him. Aaron Judge started off strong. They were rolling. Cody Bellinger wasn't really doing as great like the first month or so, but after that he really started going, and the Yankees were doing really good at one point. They had a couple injuries along the way though, Clark Schmidt, and a lot of other ones, some relief pitchers, but yeah, and then they got into a little slump where after they were doing really good throughout most of the season, and about around June, they started to not do as well, and it was a pretty bad part of the season. So they lost a series to the Red Sox, but then they went right back, swept the Royals, not too big of a deal. But then they also lost the first 3 games of a 4-game series to the Angels. I was at one of those games too, actually. And they were in a slump. Weren't doing good at all. Got swept by the Blue Jays. They lost first place in the AL East. Lost a series to the Mets. And then the All-Star break happened. They were doing a little better before then. Swept the Mariners. Won the series versus the Cubs. So it was going a little better, but right after that, it just went bad again as they kept on finding ways to lose games. And went all the way through August. They got swept by the Miami Marlins. They lost a series to the Rangers, lost a series to the Astros. But then the schedule started to get a little easier, as when they versed the Twins, they won the series. They swept the Cardinals, swept the Rays in the 2-game series. And they were starting to do a little better as the schedule got a little easier. And then they roll into September, where they have a little bit of a tough schedule with the Astros, Blue Jays, Tigers and Red Sox here, but they're not scared. They're back out of their slump, and they won the series versus the Houston Astros, won the series versus the Blue Jays, lost the series versus Detroit, but still won one game, and they won the series versus the Red Sox. So they were doing really good. A lot of these pieces were doing great this season. Trent Grisham really developed into a really great player, as he wasn't too good in 2024 on his first year as a Yankee. Ben Rice was doing great. He hits the ball so hard, and he had a great season. And yeah, a lot of people did great. Cody Bellinger bounced back, had a great year. Paul Goldschmidt, he did decent. Not too much for power, but got a good amount of hits. And just a lot of progression from this team overall during the year. Giancarlo Stanton was doing great in the regular season. But yeah, so they were doing really good. And I forgot to mention this, but at the trade deadline, they signed a lot of big pieces. They signed Ryan McMahon for third base because they designated for assignment DJ LeMahieu earlier in the year. They, and then Oswaldo Cabrera also got hurt earlier in the year, really early. It was supposed to be a platoon between him and DJ for starting third base. So was Oswald Peraza. But, at the trade deadline, they made a lot of big moves, as they really wanted to make some good moves. They traded for Ryan McMahon. They got Jose Caballero, Ahmed Rosario, Camilo Doval. They signed Bird from the Rockies, who didn't really turn out so good. He was in the minor leagues like the rest of the year. But they definitely made a lot of moves at the trade deadline. I feel like I'm forgetting someone, but I don't know. But yeah, they had a pretty good trade deadline. Oh yeah, how can I forget David Bednar, who became their closer after that. So they made a lot of good moves. Got some relief pitchers. So yeah, it was going pretty good for the Yankees going into the playoffs. And they were facing the Boston Red Sox in the wild card. So they did not win the division. The Toronto Blue Jays did, but they still were good enough to make the wild card with a 94-68 record. So against the Red Sox in the wild card series, they lost game 1. I was at that game, and Max Fried pitched really good, but Luke Weaver kind of blew the game in relief, and they didn't score much. Volpe hit a home run that game, but didn't really score much otherwise. But then they came out and won the next 2 games. And then they were going on to the ALDS against the Toronto Blue Jays, who did beat them a lot in the regular season, had the advantage against them. So they lost the first 2 games by a lot. They got destroyed in the first 2 games. It was 10-1 and then 13-7. But then they go into game 3 saying, hey, we can't get swept. Let's go in there. Let's win. And Aaron Judge hit a go-ahead 3-run home run. Hit a game-tying 3-run home run. Jazz Chisholm hit a go-ahead home run. And they were just doing great that game. A lot of other runs scored. It was great. And they pushed it to a game 4 at Yankee Stadium on Wednesday, October 8th. And unfortunately, I went to that game, and there wasn't much offense at all. They lost 5-2. And then now that means they were out of the postseason. Cam Schlittler, don't even get me started on him. I forgot to mention how good he pitched against the Red Sox. I think it was game 3. Yeah, it was game 3. He pitched great, 12 strikeouts, and there's a lot of great stats with that. I'm not gonna name it all, but he did great. He pitched 8 innings, I'm pretty sure. But then he pitched game 4 against the Blue Jays. Did good, not as good as the Red Sox start. I mean, it's hard to beat that, but he pitched 6 and a third innings, gave up 2 runs, but 8 hits though. only struck out 2. His fastball wasn't really reaching too high. It was around 97 the entire game, when we know he could reach 100 plus. And yeah, they scored a run by a solo home run by Ryan McMahon. And yeah, they ended up losing 5-2. The other run they scored was in the bottom ninth. Aaron Judge hit an RBI single. But yeah, they went out, ending their season not in a good way. They were striking out looking, popping up. Jazz Chisholm made an awful error. Anthony Volpe can't hit to save his life. I'm sorry. I like Volpe. I like him, and I want him to do good, but he's just not doing good. And Trent Grisham, too, 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Both were looking. He was awful in the postseason with a 138 average. Stanton wasn't in himself with a 192 average in the postseason. Bellinger didn't have a great postseason. Jazz, he came up clutch in a game with coming from first to home and stuff, but he wasn't overall great in the postseason. Wells was okay, but Volpe was terrible. And yeah, it just goes on from there. And the Yankees front office needs to fix this. And I don't think it's Aaron Boone. A lot of people have been telling me, and I agree that it could be the front office. Cashman could be making these decisions to keep on playing Anthony Volpe again and again when he just struggles, and they're making Volpe suffer. Every game he just strikes out, and they just keep putting him in there. Batting eighth, shortstop, Anthony Volpe, every single game. And it's so annoying because he was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in that game. And they finally pinch hit Jason Dominguez, the first time in all postseason he played. Like, why is Dominguez not playing for at least Grisham? Grisham couldn't hit. Grisham is not your automatic leadoff hitter. Grisham isn't even a leadoff hitter. He should bat like 6. Yeah, he was good in the regular season. Yeah. What, he hit like 30 home runs? Batted like 230? But that's not a great leadoff hitter. And they finally put in Jason Dominguez for Volpe in the last inning. And he ripped a double. But what is that going to do? You're down 5-1 already. What is that going to do? And this team needs to get it together that they cannot keep doing this. And they're obsessed with the whole, thing where it's like the whole pitching thing where it's like righty versus righty, lefty versus lefty. Enough with the analytics. Just do what you think is right at the moment. So, yeah. That's basically it. I don't want to make this video too long, but I'll try to be making a lot of videos about the Yankees this offseason. I'm not happy with them right now, but they're still my favorite team, and we're trying to make a lot of videos about them. And yeah, that's basically it. Make sure to check out my other YouTube channel that I do with my friends called JPNsports, and the @ is Jackson Patrick Nick Sports. Me and my friends talk about MLB and sometimes basketball videos on there. So if you like this, make sure to check that out. And anyways, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Let's go Yankees.